What it dear, y'all? Some motherfucking viewpoints of RoBs Inferno while it burns slow. Shout out to all my guys and goddesses and all high vibrational hearing beings. My fault I ain't get to tap in with y'all yesterday. I was at work for real. But yeah, this shit is beautiful, y'all. You know? Everything coming back. Full circle. Now what I want to talk about right now, I want to talk about this rising. I want to talk about the difference between I want to talk about the difference between I want to talk about the difference between operating in your ego and pride, and then operating in clarity. A lot of people operate in ego and pride, so they're just thinking for the momentarily. You know what I'm saying? They can't really see like past that. You know, they're operating in their emotions. You know, and at the at, when that's being done, it's not good. You lose good people when you move like that. You know, um, that's a quick way to know that you're moving for self. Even if you're not a narcissist, but even if you are a narcissist, that's part of that also. You know, that's why it's important that it's very important that you operate in clarity. A lot of people that ganged up against me to make me lose myself. Like, you know, I realized that, this is what helped me grow, y'all. This is what helped me heal. Like, I realized, and I'm still healing, right? But I realized that a lot of the stuff that the mother of my child did to me, with how reckless she was sexually with her energy and giving it out towards everybody and private relationships and meet and greets and all these sexual hookups and shit. I realized that it wasn't a problem with just her. You know what I'm saying? She's one person and one person that I messed with, but it was a problem entirely with like a lot of women, you know? A lot of people, if you really want me to be technical, like men too, I realized that like a lot of people, like it's weird. You'll never find someone that has sexual discipline that is moving in their ego and pride, that operates in that, People with sexual discipline, they have they have a righteous ego, you know? An ego about the right stuff, and they're not prideful, you know? They're selfless, you know? It's just crazy how you look at all of this stuff because you're gonna see the separation and vibration, you know? Um, but I really realized this. I realized, every time she came back to me and tried to make it worse and hurt me more and was having a no strings attached relationship with me, basically like a situationship, like not being faithful, not committing to me, but making it seem like she was and acting like me, just mirroring myself, you know? I realized that I found so much power in this because I found myself and everything everything that was done to me was being reversed, you know? It was being reversed slowly. And I just knew to keep going because I said to myself, man, once I realized I was in a game, I said, oh, I'm going to defeat this narcissist. And then once I defeat her, I realized for me to defeat her, all I had to do was create boundaries and just throw her in the trash, you know? Because one, everyone's gonna know I wouldn't have just did that just because I was mad at her or something minor. You know, no one kicks people out their life for small shit, you know? And then I noticed that that it was the best for me, not even from a bitter standpoint, but the disrespect, the betrayals over and over. Like a lot of times people think when you're not talking that you're weak, you know, and you're not aware because, you know, when you operate ego and pride, you're loud, you're seeking attention and validation, you know, but when you're operating in clarity, you're quiet and your actions speak for itself, you know. You don't care about it not being known or anyone laughing at you, whatever the moment, because you know what's coming, you know, and you stand on that. You're strong-minded, you know. I realized that, you know, every time, you know, she stuttered on her words, every single time her eyes swayed, you know, when her energy shifted, I noticed every single lie that she was telling me, and it was all adding up, and she didn't even know, you know. And that's the thing, because when you really pay attention, you learn to read energy, and you let stuff add up. That'll be your clarity. Now, if you grow with your intuition and stuff, that's another story. A lot of people don't do that, right? But like I'm a person. Let me tell y'all, if y'all peep a lot of these past lives, like I've been telling y'all, I've been being attacked my whole life. So once I spotted what it was with the mother of my child, I knew exactly what it was, the demon and everything, because that demon of jealousy and like I knew exactly what it was, because it's like I've been dealing with that demon my whole entire life, going through people to like attack me and stuff. So I was very familiar with it, and I knew exactly what to do, you know. It's crazy though, like what's helped me through your whole process of my growth, I say, hold up real quick. What's helped me on the process of my growth, I say, you know, you learn to follow your intuition at times, because it can be shaky, right? In any situation, you know, your gut could tell you something, and you could be like, it might not be this, it might be that, and you might be skeptical on it. But over time, you learn to like listen to it like flat out. Now, like I told y'all, I'm a type of person where I'm gonna allow for you to do whatever you want to do, and then I'm just gonna move accordingly. You know, people don't realize how much power it is in that, because you're not arguing. You skip the arguments. You skip all the low vibrational stuff. You skip. You know, and depending on what a person does to you, that's even gonna let you know, even if you want to talk to them again, or like give them, you know, if you would want to hear them out, because the extent of whatever it is that you allow for them to do, that was their true intentions, you know. So you allow for it to show, and depending on how bad it is or how far they go with it, that's up to you, you know, how you gonna deal with it. But that's you know, with everything, that's one of the smartest things to always do, because one thing my dad always told me growing up, a person is gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta just pay attention. You know, especially when you're dealing with a woman. Especially when you're dealing with a woman. That's why I learned like young, like I just love hard, y'all. But I learned young Like if never like don't argue with a woman. Like if I argue with you, I really care for you. It's not from the standpoint what I'm about to say right now with this, but you never argue with a woman, you know? Never, cuz that's going to make it worse, for real. And you're going to be going in cycles and she's still going to do what she want to do, you know? At the end of the day. So, it's best you just leave her in the dust, you know? And leave her behind. A lot of times in these situations, these women, they'll try to they'll try to leave you before you leave them because they know that they're doing you wrong, you know, and they know their mask is falling off and they can't manipulate no more. So they'll be like, shit, fuck, what do I do, you know? Fuck it, I'm just leaving alone, you know? And them not knowing you even what you are in their life, you know? That you see that decision made a lot with women, you know what I'm saying? And avoid rejection, like my baby mother tried to do, you know? And then with the two people those first few people she was messing with, and you know, the third party, the karmic, the people she's messing with in a relationship with now, even like stuck. Like it's like she tried to like make me feel insecure, y'all, and like make me feel low and stuff, you know. So if anybody wants to know, that's why I kicked her out of my life forever, you know, for playing with me like that even, you know. Because the thing is, when she left me, she was trying to manipulate and make me chase her and stuff. You know what I mean? When I left, oh no, I'm really gone, you know, and never coming back. And even my only reason for speaking about this stuff is for awareness purposes, for other people even to not go through it, and the fact that, you know, I have a child with her, or worst case scenario, if this wouldn't be my child, then y'all never hear me say her name ever again. I'm not her name, but even speak of her ever again. You know what I'm saying? My only connection to her is the fact that we got a child and I got this going on. And I wish no bad harm her way, you know, but she won't be in, that's confirmation, but she won't be in my life though, you know, wish her well though. But, yeah, you know, it's just crazy. All the stuff that people was trying to do for me happened to them and they got coming to them. Everything that I went through in the process to now where I'm at, everybody that was involved, all the cronies, right? The minions, all of y'all are gonna receive that and more and plus, you know? It's crazy. That's one of the things, like, you gotta be a bold, well, I hope that you're a bold person in life when you do bad stuff to people. A lot of, because I realize, and I know from this myself and me making poor choices, right? A lot of people can't take what they put out, you know? A lot of people in general, they'll do stuff to people, they'll slander people's name, gang up on people, they'll try to be like, you know, I don't like you because you found out how I am, you know my true colors. I can lie to everybody else, but I can't lie to you. So to punish you, I'm gonna try to ruin your reputation and make people not like you, you know? Like a lot, you see that happen so often with people, not even just in intimate relationships. Like the level of jealousy that people have towards people in this world, it is so disgusting. And it's like the basis of, it's like the common denominator for why people treat people the way they do, you know? Because it's like they can't, they don't, that's one of the clear signs they don't want to heal. Because a person that wants to heal or is healing, they do not have time to be trying to make people look bad and stuff, you know? But it's just crazy how the story is the same though, because it's always like that. Like the person that it's like somebody's being dragged, right? And then it come to find out that person that was being dragged, or the person that put this on that person didn't even do that. So basically what I'm saying is, all of what she was talking about me and saying about me, that's really her. And she know, and the only reason why she mad at me is because she knows I know, because I dealt with her and I defeated her, and I got away, you know, and I got away. Then just defeat her, I stopped dealing with her altogether, even with a child, and started handling everything accordingly. I didn't just start that this year, regardless of the abuse from her. Like I started that the moment in 2020, that last time she was having sexual interactions while she was on the phone with me, and lying, talking about she going she going to the hospital because she's sick and shit. What she was really doing though, you know what I mean? All of her lies blew up in her face, and it's just a lesson for me for life, just like how it is for her. Like, it's crazy, y'all, because it was like one of the times when she was it's crazy, right? I say one of the times because it was multiple times. Yeah, but one of the times where one of the times where she was, this shit's so crazy, I literally forgot what I was about to say with it. That's how painful. That's how I know, like, I'm still healing. But it was something she did one of the times she was sucking dick on the phone with me and acting like, oh no, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that last time in 2020 when she was sucking dick on the phone, and I literally let her know she could think back. She'll remember. I asked her one time to tell me what she was doing, to be honest, you know, and she didn't want to face rejection then, and she thought it like was a game, probably because it was like, this is the thing, when people are treating you bad before karma starts to come up, um, they always are like laughing and joyful at your pain and your suffering, you know, or like they're like in celebration mode, but then it all falls down, and then they all. Oh no, that's what I was saying. Also, yeah, like when while she was talking to on the phone, she literally tried, she literally tried to tell me that I was the karmic, y'all, at that time. It's just crazy. Sometimes I randomly just think about like stuff of like just the whole thing, and I'm just like, but the real thing about it though is this. It's like half of her thought that like I was right, but really her soul knew I wasn't. For that woman to do everything that she did to cause all this destruction. Most narcissists are calculated. They're just not all the way calculated. That's why they get caught, but they feel like they're calculated in the moment of their decisions and their deception though. Like, you know, and they feel like they got, they're like, I got everybody over you. I got everybody looking at you a certain way, you know. And I'm not gonna front. In my situation, I know the mother of my child thought that she had the upper hand because she was looking at it from a standpoint like I'm homeless, like I don't got nobody to believe me, even more so like I'm a black man. No one's gonna believe me. No one's gonna, you know what I mean? She's a woman and I'm homeless. She has a kid. Like everything just looks you know, like I'm just a bad person. I'm the one that why the relationship broke up, da da da. But like I told y'all, man, karma's real, you know? And one of the things about me that also gave me peace ultimately about the whole situation of me cutting her off and throwing her ass in the trash was that like I didn't care about her feeling embarrassed or anything afterwards. But one of the things that helped me was was I knew that I left everything on the table. You know what I'm saying? I was solid the whole way out, you know? I was solid the whole way out. But it was like a lot of stuff like that that she would do that she didn't even get me in, Like I was solid the whole way out. She always tried to use my anger even against me with what do you call it? Reactional abuse, where it's like she knew I had anger problems, so she would get like aroused and get when people are in that vibration, they like chaos, So something that's peaceful and good, it feels like it's boring. You know what I mean? Those type of women, like, you know, they like the rise. They want the thug. They want the dope boy, the nigga that's getting in trouble. That's gonna treat them like shit. You know, they get, you know, that's gonna allow all their toxicity and not try to make them grow. You know, that's gonna feel like heaven for them and shit. Until, like, you see the same thing with a lot of these women, and as they get older and stuff, and they start reaching age and thinking different, and they're like, they start realizing it's like they knew what they was doing, but they really start thinking about what they're doing. You know, from the different angles, and then it starts eating them up, and they all end up in that same situation. It's so crazy, y'all, but it's like, you know, but like I said, just the mother of my child, that's surface level, because this is the type of stuff I talk about all the time, you know, like the reason why she was how she was from the jump, even the people she hurt before me, you know, with her sexual addiction and her ways, you know, I'm not gonna put it out there out of respect for her that much, you feel me? But I'm gonna just say a lot of those